Good evening, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. My name is Phil and we are 100% LCFC. Get your views in and get your comments in. We want to know what you think about Leicester City as we go into another important week for Leicester. We have got a cup game on Wednesday away at Everton. Looking forward to that. And then we've got a massive trip at the weekend in the Premier League where we really want to try and get something back into the pot against Man City. So get your views in, get your comments in. I will try and read as many of them as I can, give as many shout outs, get your views across. This is all about your views, not my views, it's your views. Good evening. Let's start with a few hellos. Good evening to Graham Ball. How are you, Graham? Get your views in, Graham, let me know. Terry Fuller's in. Terry, what time do you call this? This is early. Well done, Terry. In at the start. Good to see you, Terry. Matthew Bond, good evening to you. Aggie, hello, good evening. How are you, Aggie? Hope you're well. Scooby Baz is here. Hi, Scooby. Get your views in, get your comments in. Yes, Terry, you are early for a change. Well done to you. It's noted. Jake Palmer, I'm really good, thank you. I think I've recovered from the disappointment from Saturday. I must admit, I was disappointed after Saturday's match, Jake. Were you guys disappointed? Do we just move on? I've read a few comments from fans pretty much saying, oh, that's the title race over. Listen, I just think one draw against Norwich doesn't mean the title race is over. It just makes it a little bit more harder, a little bit more excited. Jake Palmer says, he was disappointed about the draw. Chris Tatum, how are you, Chris? How are you feeling? Let's get a bit bubbly, let's get a bit lively. We've got the Everton game to look forward to. Scooby Baz says, do we think Mr. Gray, talking about Demarai Gray, will go in January? I mean, Scooby's brought it up. Obviously, we do these shows no script. We just react to what you say. I'm going to chuck it out there. I was a bit disappointed with Demarai Gray on Saturday because he came on relatively so early. Came on in the 38th minute, was he? I thought Demarai played one of those games like he does when he starts a game. Just didn't really do much in the game for me, Demarai Gray. I'd have much rather seen him come on in the second half. I actually thought it was an interesting change from Brendan Rodgers. I'd even say, did he get it wrong? Was he wrong to bring Nacho off? Change formations, 38th minute, or was he right? Was it positive to say, you know what, let's get Nacho off, let's change the formation. He changed it around. It was sort of a 4-1-3-2, and then we changed it around more to like a 4-1-4-1. Did it work better after Nacho went off or not? Did he take Nacho off slightly because of that incident? Get your views in. Anthony Howard, don't forget. Anthony Howard is watching. Go and check him out on his YouTube channel. Anthony, what did you think to the Nacho switch? Did you think it was right or wrong? And what did you think to Demarai Gray? Andy Price says, this is about Wednesday. We'll come on to this, Andy. Shall we? We should go strong against Everton. Let's just stick with the Norwich one for a minute. Chris Gutteridge says, disappointment of drawing to Norwich, question marks. We are still unbeaten in 10. You're normally so much more upbeat. Come on, Leicester. Hey, listen, I did go into the match. I didn't think we'd beat Norwich 3-4, 5-0. A lot of fans did. I'm always know that there's a banana skin when you play a team like Norwich, who are down near the bottom, Chris. But something wasn't quite right on Saturday. The atmosphere was a little quiet as well. I don't know if you felt that. Was it because it was a bit cold? Had we all eaten too many mince pies before kick-off? The atmosphere just felt a little bit quiet. And the team just didn't quite respond. It was just a bit of a strange game, Chris, on Saturday. James Woodward, how are you? Thanks for watching. Terry Fuller saying he's had a good laugh watching Arsenal Fan TV because they're melting. Obviously, they lost to Man City. Michael Leeson, good evening to you. Ross Howard says it's not over until the fat lady sings. Ross, I agree with you. We've got ages left. We're not even halfway through the season, so it's not over yet, but 10 points. It's a big ask, but we're not out of it, and we play Liverpool. So let's see. Baz Short, good evening, Baz. Get your views in, Baz. Let me know how you're doing. Paul Bird, it says, disappointing, but on a plus side, a point gained on Chelsea and a point close to the Champions League. Absolutely. And I think, Paul, that is probably the reality of this season, isn't it? Is that I still feel we're in a title race, albeit 10 points. We are second. We're still in that race. But the big reality of this season is, if we were to qualify for the Champions League this season, that would be absolutely amazing. Get your views in, get your comments in. What do you think? I think we've asked it before. Would you take Champions League now if you're offered it or not? Or do you want to gamble on and go for the league? Joe Halford's watching. Good evening to you, Joe. Steve and Geddes, good evening to you. Anthony Howard says, move on. We are a point closer to the Champions League than Chelsea, and we're still unbeaten in 10. Dave Felstead says that he was a bit disappointed with the draw, but we're still second, absolutely. Craig Pearson, how are you? Craig's watching. And Jake Palmer says, I knew Pookie would score. I had a chat with Chappers earlier, and Chappers asked me this question. I'm going to ask it to you guys. Pookie, is he the sort of player, would you like to see Leicester try and sign somebody like Pookie from Norwich in January? If you would like to sign Pookie, give us a thumbs up like. And if you don't want to sign him, give us an angry face. I thought he played very well on Saturday, and I think the guy had a broken toe in the second half. If it wasn't for a great tackle by Sayuncu and a great tackle by Ricardo Pereira, Norwich could have beaten us on Saturday. They really could have beaten us. So let us know if you'd like to sign Pookie. Put it in the comments. Aggie says, would you have preferred Albrighton to have come on at half-time instead of Barnes? I think making a change in the first half is a big statement to do that, because that's effectively is saying it's not working, it's gone wrong. I'm not sure how it affects Iheanacho's confidence to be took off after the 38th minute, because he clearly wasn't injured, because he sprinted off the pitch. So I think that's a player showing I'm not injured. I always like to see a change. I don't like to see changes at half-time. I always think if you're going to make a positive change, make it 5-10 minutes after half-time, because it gives the chance for the crowd to get involved in that change. If Demarai Gray had come on 5 minutes after half-time, 10 minutes after half-time, I think the crowd would have been like, yes, come on Demarai, get on and score us a goal. Whereas when he comes on at I think that confused quite a few of us when he comes on. A question to you guys as well, and I'm not being critical here. I'm definitely not. I'm just chucking the question out there. I'm always frustrated when we don't make a third substitution when we really want to win a game. And Aggie says there about Albrighton. I would have probably liked to see Albrighton come on Saturday and give him a shot for the last 10-15 minutes. I certainly would have liked to see him do something different for the last 10 minutes. Part of my frustration on Saturday was that last 10 minutes, we just kept playing it out from the back. Casper played it 90th minute with only 3 minutes injury time, which didn't seem enough. We started playing it out from the back, and it took us 90 seconds to get the ball nearly to the halfway line, and then we let it go out. And that was in the 90th to the 92nd minute. We were playing around with it at the back. Really frustrating to watch sometimes, that is. Brad Lingard is watching. Brad, what do you reckon? Get your views in, get your comments in. Jake Palmer says Barnes played poorly. So many comments coming tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Please keep getting those comments in. I've had to scoot by a load to get down to the latest ones. Michael Leeson talking about if Pookie was in his mid-20s, yes, I would. Andy Medhurst is saying get rid of the clappers. I'll tell you what, Andy, if you got rid of the clappers, there'd be even less noise in the ground. And that's the truth. So I'm a big fan of the clappers. I think, be careful how you say that, big fan of the clappers. I'm a big fan of the clappers because it gives those people who maybe don't want to sing, don't want to clap, it gives them something to bat around. But more people need to use them. Get using the clappers. If they're there, use them. Matthew Bond saying Pookie, not for me. Adam Tucker says Pookie's just a poor Jamie Vardy. Michael James says, don't get the negatives. They got a point. It was a good game. The only disappointment for me was Gray. He was rubbish this week. I was just saying I thought Demarai Gray had one of those off days like when he starts a game. I'd much rather see him come on for 20-25 minutes, if I'm honest. Ross Howard says, if we get Champions League, then we can have Champions League's cards on FIFA. Well, fair enough. Ross, if that's the thing. Lee Hinton saying, so hard to get tickets. Heading back for 2 weeks over Christmas from New Zealand. I had to buy tickets for West Ham away and sit with the Hammers fans. Lee, are you trying to get tickets for any of the home game over Christmas is the Liverpool game. Are you around, Lee, for the Liverpool game? If you are, we'll put a plea out from you. I've got relatives live out in New Zealand, Lee, so let us know where you're from. We'll see if we can pull any strings for you. Andy Medhurst is saying, I'd take Aubameyang. Don't think he's going to come here. Luke Maitland, this is an interesting question from Luke. Luke says, does Lee Jobber still do the drumming at the back of L1? I've got to be honest with you, Luke. I don't know if Lee Jobber still does the drumming at the back of L1, but it is a question I'm going to ask if anybody knows out there. And I'm also going to chuck something out there is the L Block boys used to be the heartbeat of the football club with the noise. Gone a bit quiet this season, L Block. What? I don't sit there. I sit in the family stand, as a lot of you know. I often say I sit in the family stand with my kids, and there's not a bad noise in the family stand, but we're quite close to L Block over on my left as I'm watching the game. L Block seems a bit quiet at the moment. Now Tom Hoger, who's part of the content team, used to sit in L Block, and he's moved down back towards SK1, and he says the atmosphere's better down there. What's going on in L Block? Do you sit there? Do you know people who sit there? What's going on with the noise levels in L Block? And is Lee Jobber still making the noise there? There's certainly somebody bashing the drum, but it doesn't feel like it's quite the heartbeat of the club at the moment. Get your views in, get your comments in. It's just an observation from me. I want to know what you think. Moving on to the Everton game, Mark Wright saying, a strong team against Everton, please. Let's get to Wembley and guarantee that European tour. It would be massive to win the Europa League, massive. I agree, Mark. I think, I hope we're going to get in the Champions League this season now, but it'd be nice to have the Europa League in the bag for Wembley. I think Everton, by the way, is a tough game now that Duncan Ferguson is in charge. He'll certainly want to get Everton into a cup semi-final, and they've done ever so well in that home game against Chelsea 10 days ago, and they did well against Man United, obviously getting a draw. Paul Spilling says, let's get Champions League, man, dilly ding, dilly dong. Joanna Astley's watching. Joanna, what did you reckon to the Norwich game? I'm not going to say disappointed, but I was a bit disappointed because I really did hope we were going to beat them. And what do you think, Joanna, about the cup game? Should we put out a full strength side? I don't think he's going to. I think Brendan Rodgers has pretty much said that in the media. I think he has said that he's going to put some of the fringe players out there. Mark Brighton, maybe Wes Morgan, Danny, Ward, Chamza Howdry. I'm expecting to see maybe 4, 5 or 6 changes. Get your team in. Put in the comments who you think will start and who you think will play. If you can like and share this video as ever, that always helps us. So please, if you can give us a like, if you can give us a share, that would be great. I'm going to get back to your comments now. Jack Marsden says, it was just a bad day at the office on Saturday. It happens in football. It certainly does, Jack. It's just, we have got to move on from it. It's just one of those days. Ross says, remember Liverpool don't play next week, and if we win against Man City and beat Liverpool Boxing Day, then we are 4 points behind. I thought Liverpool played 3 times this week, Ross, if I'm honest. Don't they play, are they meant to play Villa tomorrow, and then they're playing in the World Cup thing against, is it Monterrey this week? And then potentially they play in the finals of that this weekend, I think. Joe McDowell saying, I agree, at home the fans are quiet. I much prefer the away day, constant singing and getting behind the lads. Just been a bit quiet the last couple of games. I'm not quite sure why. Stuart Child says, sorry I'm late in. Don't worry, Stuart, that's all right. Welcome. Anyway, Stuart says, Saturday was the worst game I've seen this season. It was flat, tired, and hopefully will be rested for Saturday. So Stuart is definitely saying give the lads a break against the Everton Cup match. Andy Medhurst saying SK3 are loud and proud. We're talking about the L Block being a little bit quiet at the moment. Scooby Bass says, who would have said by Christmas we'd be second and definitely will qualify for the Champions League for sure. It's been a great half so far. We don't have any right to the Premier League. You earn the right, and think that doing just one of them versus Norwich, but these forums on Saturday was mad with silly comments. Up the Nuneaton Foxes. That is quite a long one from Scooby Baz. Good point. I don't think Champions League's in the bag, Scooby. It's a long way to go in the season. Just like the title isn't out of range. Brad Lingard says he was in L Block against Arsenal, was a good atmosphere. Fair. Well, that's good, Brad. Good to know that it was a good atmosphere in there. Just the volume level was not coming out of the L Block, lads, as it sometimes can do, that gets the rest of the crowd going. That's just my view. I'm sitting in the family stand. I just think L Block sounded a bit quiet on Saturday. Jake Palmer saying would be a hard game at Everton's in the cup game. Joanna Astley is saying Union FS have been trying to get safe standing for a few years now. That will pick the atmosphere up. Joanna, I think I can. Well, it's not confirmed, but I did have a certain meeting at the club about 8 weeks ago, and we were discussing safe standing. And my understanding is safe standing will probably be in the ground when the extension comes. That is what I believe is going to happen. But that is not confirmed. That is just what was being discussed. That safe standing area would come in when the ground expansion came in. So I think that will help. I think people will like that, and it is definitely safe. So bring it in. Andy Medhurst says top 4 and Wembley would be a good season. It would be a great season, Andy. That would be absolutely great. Lee Hinton's coming back here. He lives in Christchurch in the South Island. Would love to take his 10-year-old to the Liverpool, but all sold out, trying for the FA Cup game v Wigan. Lee, I know you certainly can get tickets for the Wigan game in the FA Cup. They are on sale, I think, pretty much now, so get on the website, Lee. You'll get them. Inbox me, Lee, and I'll see what. I can't promise you anything because the game against Liverpool is a massive... everybody wants a ticket for it, but inbox me and I'll see what I can do. If I can find anybody who's got any, I'll pass them on to you. Joanna says, wasn't at the game... The norovirus hit my... Oh, gosh. Full of sickness, were you, Joanna? Well, it was probably the game to miss this season if you didn't have it. Neil Birchenough says, we haven't done very well at Goodison of recent years. Neil, I think we've done all right at Everton. We certainly have picked up some points over the last couple of years. So I think we've got a chance there, but I think it will be hard. Trying to get some... Mark Wright says, to get anything at Everton, we need to shut out Richarlison. He looked decent when they came to us the other day. Jack Marson saying, would like to see Fuchs, Albrighton and Perez play. I think all three of those will play. Paul Burchett says, top 4 should be our aim now. James Hall being a bit defeatist, saying, I think that's the Premier League hopes gone now. James, I don't think it's gone yet. I don't think it's gone. It's 10 points, but we can do that. Joe McDowell says, if we beat Liverpool, they will fold. The pressure got to them at the weekend before Salah scored. They didn't look very good against Watford, but they managed to grind out that victory, didn't they? They managed to grind it out. And sadly, against Norwich, we just didn't manage to grind it out. Scooby Baz, this is Scooby Baz giving me a team for the Everton match. I was about to read it out, but I got to the Poole, Impey, Elliott, Walsh bit. I mean, this could be like your all-star team if you want Scooby. Guppy, is it Lennon, Savage, Lineker, Vardy? Well, we could have that debate, couldn't we? Who would make your all-star 11? Kevin Poole in goal. Poole, I used to love watching Poole in goal. He was always too small to be a keeper, but boy, could he make some great saves. Kevin Poole. Impey, I'm not sure about Impey in my all-star team either. Anyway, there's more important things to talk about than our all-star 11 Leicester Cities. That's for a close season chip chat. Andy says you've got more chance of Nacho scoring a hat-trick than you have of getting a Liverpool ticket. Have you got a ticket for Liverpool? If you've got a ticket for Liverpool, give us a thumbs up like. Or if you want a ticket for Liverpool, give us a love heart. How about that? Let's see who's got a ticket and who's not got a ticket. I feel so sad for all the people I must have had. Any mates of mine who haven't got season tickets, they've all pinged me a little message saying, Phil, have you got a spare ticket for Liverpool? Trust me, if I've got spare tickets, I could have sold it 100 times. If you've got a ticket, give us a thumbs up like. If you want a ticket, give us a love heart. If you've got a spare ticket, help somebody out. Don't forget we run a ticket exchange called the Leicester Fan Ticket Exchange. It's a group on Facebook. I'll share it in here afterwards. You never know, there might be a spare one. They're a bit like, I was going to say rocking horse this time of year. Maybe it should be reindeer. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeers. Anyway, you know what I'm on about. Jack Marston says, Everton have a few injuries ahead of Wednesday, said Duncan Ferguson. Will they put out a bit of a B team or not? Will they be focusing on the league game? Matthew Bond said, can everybody calm down about Nacho? I'm prepared to eat my words, but he's still crap. That's what Matthew... Listen, Matthew, I thought Nacho... I was a bit surprised about Nacho on Saturday coming in because I actually thought he had quite a lively first half an hour. He seemed to be doing some nice stuff with his feet, had got a couple of shots off, and obviously was involved in that incident, which, what do you think to the Nacho incident about not passing the ball back? I actually think, I'm going to say it, I think he was wrong. I think he should have passed it back. I thought it was clearly our throw-in, and to pass it back to their team, there was no need for him to not do it. I'm not sure really what went through his mind, because if you watch it again, he sort of gathers the ball, and then there's a moment where he sort of looks like he thinks, should I pass this back, or no, I'm going to go for this. I think he got it wrong. I thought what Norwich players did to him afterwards was wrong. I don't think they should be flying in like that. I think somebody almost deserved a red card for how they came in and stood over him, and I think somebody was grabbing him around the neck. It all seemed to kick off over nothing, but I do think Nacho got it wrong. Did that help in him getting took off by Brendan Rodgers? Andy Meadows says, I think Meadows should have chipped the goalie. That was with that one. Not won a quarter-final in anything since Fulham in 1999, I think. Lost them all since, says Andy Price. Is that right, Andy? We haven't got to a semi-final since 1999. This is me thinking now. 1999. Obviously, that would have been then we went on to the 2000 League Cup final. Was that the last cup final we were in the year 2000? I thought we played 2000. I thought we got to there in 2002. Somebody put in the comments, is that right? Is that the last one? Joe McDowell saying, I felt this is about the Nacho incident. Joe says, I felt he made the wrong decision, hence the away fans getting on his back. That, in my opinion, is why he was subbed. Our home sport is too quiet. Come on, get behind the lads. Jack Marston says, we got to the quarter-final against Man City. Yes, we have got several quarter-finals, Jack. I think what we were talking about, what Andy was talking about, was Andy said we've not won a quarter-final, and I then got onto a semi-final since 1999. Come on, Leicester, that's 20 years. 20 years since we got to a cup semi-final. We need to be getting there this time. Mark Wright says, we beat Tranmere in 2000, we did. So Tranmere was the last cup final we went to. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are right. Aggie says, we beat Aston Villa in the League Cup semi-final in 2000, yeah, which took us through to the League Cup final. Jack Marston is saying, get through and get Villa or Man United in the semis. That'd be nice. Paul says, Aggie is right with his facts. Her facts. Sorry, Aggie. Oh, always get Aggie wrong. I know who you are now. Keep getting your views in, get your comments in. Mark Wright says, Tranmere, Elliott got both at Wembley in 2000. I've got a picture on the wall just over there. Matt Elliott lifting the League Cup trophy that day. What a great day that was. And Tranmere are in League Two now, says Jake. They certainly are. Listen, before I forget and before we get run away with ourselves, there is 1 week. This time next week, it'll be December the 23rd, Christmas Eve, and I will do a show, and I am going to fill it with prizes that we can give away. You've got to go and enter them on LeicesterFanTV.com. There's 3 prizes available to win. Let's start. This is my, I feel like sale of the century. Live from Norwich, wasn't it? Sale of the century. Those of you who are old enough. That's ironic. Anyway, first of all, we have got in our Leicester City competitions on LeicesterFanTV.com a mini keg of Everard's Tiger beer. Thank you to the guys at Everard's for that. Go and enter. They're all free to enter. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we've got yet another pink shirt to give away thanks to our pals at Pink Vehicle Leasing. There they are. You can win a nice pink Leicester City shirt. Just go on the website and enter. The questions are beyond easy. I don't make it too hard. I make it nice and easy so you can enter. So we've got that. That's thanks to Pink. And then we've got this. Nice Kasabian jacket. That is thanks to our pals at Emergency Glazing Services. So if you want to win the Kasabian jacket, thanks to Brad and the guys at Emergency Glazing Services, again, go on LeicesterFanTV.com. Enter, you can enter, and you can enter all 3 competitions next Monday night in our live show in our live show, I will be drawing them out and then sending them off. You won't get them till after Christmas, but that'll be a nice little thing to win after Christmas. Some beer, a jacket, a pink shirt. There's 3 competitions, so it's not one person wins all. So I'll be drawing them out next Monday. Paul Spilling says, have you got a Liverpool ticket to give away? I'll have a look. Do you know what? My better half, her who must be obeyed, is not too happy about 8 p.m. kickoffs on Boxing Day. I've been told it's family time and I'm not allowed to go. So I could have 4 tickets spare. I've got to work my way around that one. Not easy. Who puts these stupid times out on Boxing Day? I remember Boxing Day matches used to be 11 a.m. kickoff, and that was great. We could all sneak off down there while everybody had a lie-in, get down, watch the 11 o'clock match, be back in time so we could still have a jolly good family party on Boxing Day. 8 p.m. Boxing Day night. Thanks for that. So, you never know, there might be 4 tickets up for grabs for the Liverpool game if I'm not allowed to go. Anyway, Paul says I'll buy some wine to keep it up if you want to donate me the ticket. You never know, Paul. It could come true. I hope not. Missed the game of the century, Leicester v Liverpool. Jack Marston is saying there's some difficult fixtures for all the teams in the top 6 in December and January. Yes, there certainly is, Jack. It is not going to be over now. Mark Wright says, am I going to wash them? What, the jackets? No, I'm not washing them. Crikey. They're good enough prizes. You don't need them washing. If you win them, Mark, you can wash them. Ross Howard says, give George Thomas a go against Everton. He's been brilliant for under 21s and under 23s. Ross keeps a good eye on what goes on with the youngsters. So have a word and listen to him. Maybe George Thomas. Ivan Nylander says, I want to win the shirt, but too far from Sierra Leone. I want to win the... Ivan, you can still enter. I always manage, when I pick out a winner, I always manage to pick somebody who comes from like Canada or Australia, and we end up sending them. One of the guys, I think it was Steve, won a Leicester retro shirt, lives in Australia, and that's where we had to send it to. But fair enough, we'll get it there. Baz Short is saying, hearing Everton will have a new manager for Wednesday. Baz, I'm hearing the exact opposite. I believe that Duncan Ferguson is confirmed that he will be managing them on Wednesday night against Leicester. Right, now before we go, I want to see your score predictions for Wednesday night. I want to see what you think the first goal scorer will be against Everton. I think it's going to be an interesting one because I've got a feeling Jamie Vardy won't start against Everton. So who do you think will score the first goal, and what do you think the final score will be against Everton? I'm going to give you mine. Unusually, I'm going to tell you what I think. I actually think this game on Wednesday could highly go to penalties. I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll either be a 0-0 or 1-1 at full time. I believe at 90 minutes it goes straight through to a penalty shootout. So Joanna's going for 1-1. Joanna, who do you think is going to score first? I actually agree with you, Joanna. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go for Perez to score the 1 goal as well, because I think Perez will start. I wouldn't be surprised if Perez starts and is the striker against Everton. Joe McDowell saying 2-1 with Nacho. You think Nacho will get some more game time? Jack Marston says 3-1 to the Blues. Jack, there's 2 Blues playing, and to be fair, Leicester will probably be the Greys on Wednesday. Jack, who do you think is going to win that, and what's the score going to be? Matthew Bond says 2-1 Albrighton to score. That would be great. Anthony Beebe says, absolutely agree, Pratt to score. Think it's going to be a draw. Who's going to win then, Anthony, on penalties? Let me know. Craig Jones thinks it's going to be penalties. I don't know what it is. I've just got this feeling it is going to be penalties on Wednesday. Just going to be one of those. Craig Jones is going 0-0. Brad Lingard from Emergency Glazing Services. Don't forget the jacket. You get it. Brad says 1-1 and Perez. Brad, that's what I say. You're agreeing with me. Good. We're on the same wavelength. If it is 1-1 and Perez, Brad will share that pizza that obviously we give away. Mick Hewitt is saying 2-1 to Leicester. Mick, who's going to score the first goal? Come on, you should know by now what the game is. Luke Maitland saying 2-1 Perez. James Justin scores first 2-2, says Mark. Right. Yeah, I think James Justin will play, and I think that's exciting. see him do there. Andreas, hi Andreas, says 3-1 to Leicester with Perez to score first. A lot of us all thinking Perez is going to score first because he's going to play. Alan Jones disagrees and says Demarai Gray to open the goal scoring and it'd be 2-0 to Leicester. Oh, Andy Price, 3-3 Perez. Win and we win on penalties. That would be a great game. Joanna's confirming that in her 1-1 draw, she's going for Johnny Evans. There's not many people going to go for Johnny Evans to score first, Joanna. So if that happens, you're in for a good shout to win the pizza. Jack saying I'm going Maddison to score and Vardy. Jack, do you know what? I've got a feeling Vardy certainly won't start, I think. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I'm not sure about Maddison. And Maddison did have a bit of a quiet day on Saturday. Aggie says, hope not, hoping to be home for about 1, City to win 2-1. Oh, hoping not to have penalties. Yes, it does make it a late one. But it does make it exciting if you win them. Paul Burchett says James Justin to score the first goal, Leicester to win 2-1. Joe McDowell says Nacho loves a cup game, hence why he's backing him. Anthony Beebe saying Leicester to win 4-3 on penalties. Jack Marsden saying, how about a Fuchs screamer? Be nice for Fuchs to get a screamer. Mick Hewitt saying, I think Vardy will start. Okay, Mick, we'll see, won't we, on Wednesday? And Mick says 2-1 to Leicester, Vardy to score the first goal. By the way, just out of interest, hands up who thinks that Jamie Vardy should have been credited with that goal on Saturday. I really do. I'm not sure why they've took it off him, because my logic with that is, if Jamie Vardy hadn't headed that like he had, we wouldn't have scored a goal. Now, the keeper's job is to try and save it. So he puts his hands up and he gets the hands to it and then it goes in the goal. That's not an own goal. That's a keeper trying to save it and it goes in the goal. They've not given it to him. It's like, what have they done? Took an overhead view, got a protractor and a set square out and like worked out the trajectory of Jamie Vardy's header was going just wide, and then Krul has done. If I was a goalie, I'd be saying, get lost, that's not an own goal. I was trying to save it and it's hit my hand and gone in because the striker's headed it. I do not understand why that has been taken off Jamie Vardy. I think 100%, if Jamie Vardy hadn't done that header, if he hadn't hit his head and gone the way it was going, we wouldn't have scored a goal. So for me, do you agree? Just put in the comments if you agree with me. I am struggling to see why in today's game that gets reviewed and not given to the striker. Because if the striker, Jamie Vardy, hadn't got his head on it and hadn't put it in that exact place where he put it, it wouldn't have gone to a goal. It hit the keeper's hand and goes in, and that's not an own goal, hitting a keeper's hand and going in. That's ridiculous in my books. Absolutely ridiculous. And if I was Jamie Vardy in Leicester City, I'd be arguing the toss over that one. What do you think? We're going to end on, I've wound myself up there, and I'm just really cross about that. Let me know what your views are on Jamie Vardy and if it was. Mark Gatwood says, it wouldn't have gone in if Vardy hadn't headed it. It would. I think you're disagreeing with me there, Mark, aren't you? If Vardy hadn't headed it, it would it. Well, I think it is Vardy's goal. Michael Leeson says, I do way I see it, the keeper parried it into the goal, so should be Vardy goal in my opinion. I think Michael's agreeing with me. I certainly am. Anthony Beebe says Vardy was robbed. Salah, Kane, Abraham would have all got it. I agree. I definitely agree with you. Jake Palmer's agreeing with me, so's Leslie Slattery. Andreas says, I agree with you, Phil. Vardy should have had it. Why have they took it off him? Why would you? If I was the keeper, I would just be going, you're not giving me an own goal for when I try and save it and then it goes in. That's just stupid to give an own goal off the keeper's hands. If it came off the keeper, if Vardy had headed it and it had come off the keeper's shoulder or off his backside and gone in that way, maybe an own goal. But for a keeper who's come out to try and save it, it's hit his hand and gone in. He's trying to save it. Now, if Vardy hadn't put it in that exact place and it hit his hand in that exact place, it wouldn't have been a goal. Really frustrating, because at least on Saturday, if we'd have only took the draw but Vardy have kept on his run, that would have been something to take out about it. Andy Medhurst is saying, I've just heard that Harry Kane is claiming the goal. Yeah, I like that one, Andy. Very good, very good. Paul says, I think Krul tried to give it to Vards. Premier League don't like us, so won't give it to Leicester. If Krul wants to give it to Vardy and Vardy wants to have it, who the hell is... What miserable little bugger is watching that and going, oh no, it's probably some old crone at the FA, isn't it? Sitting there going, oh, like I say, they've got their rulers out and they're just like, oh, it wasn't going in. We can't have Leicester doing anything like this, or Jamie Vardy, that little ruffian. I don't know why we're talking about this, but it's really got me cross. Ross Howard says it was cruel on Vardy, to be honest. Cringe for that joke, but very good. Jack Marsden says Liverpool will be claiming VAR if it was them. And Mark Atwood says it's a cruel, cruel world. At least your jokes are getting me in there. Jack Marsden saying should have counted as Vardy's goal as wasn't going wide. You're going to have to leave me there. Annoyed, perplexed, and absolutely disappointed with the fact that Jamie Vardy didn't get that goal. Anyway, listen. Thanks as ever to these guys. Thanks to the Fox's Arms, Jamie's Pub out in Alcudia. Hologram. They're great. That's mine. Emergency Glazing. Thanks, Brad. And Pink. Thanks to Simon and the guys over at Pink Vehicle Leasing. If you want a new lease car, go to them. Peter's Pizzas, you know what they do. Pizza. Tiger by Everard's. The best beer, in my opinion. It is nice. It is nice. And obviously, Bodie Hodges is a charity who we support, so we just want to give them a shout out every week. Go and follow any of these guys on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, because they help us out. They're all local businesses. We're a local fanzine. My name's Phil. This is Leicester Fan TV. Thank you to Mark Gatwood for watching, Graham Troop, Ross Howard, Jake Short, Jake Palmer, Jack Marsden, Richie Collins. Richie, I'll get in touch with you soon. Ross Howard, Paul Burchett, Martin Jones, Ivan Nylander, Matthew Bond, Andy Medhurst, Mark Wright, Baz Short, Jack Marsden, Alan Jones, Andreas. So many of you, I can't read them all out, but if you can like and share this video, that'd be great. Don't forget, Chapper's podcast is out before the Everton game, so keep tuned for that, and I'll see you soon. From me, Phil, Leicester Fan TV. Thanks for watching. Keep the faith. We're second in the league. We're in the quarterfinals of the League Cup. It's Man City on Saturday. The world is pretty blooming nice for a City fan. See you next time.